I forgot to turn on. That should be fixed shortly. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. I hope the day has been restful and or productive for y'all. Hey Cat Wizard. Yeah, hey everybody. I would say I'm doing okay overall. Hang on a second. Just, Alright. Pretty good so far, good. And also, hi Lynn. Yeah. Yeah, I would say today has been pretty good for me so far. I played some Elena this morning. She as a character is going to require that I learn a lot of things, learn a lot of things differently. But, however, she's still pretty sick. I haven't looked at we'll probably go over the patch notes for most of the characters that I have played at some point in Street Fighter 6. When it comes to Friday, probably Cammy, Terry, and Mai, and then I'll talk about Elena. Yeah, I can't juggle 4 characters though, so it's pretty likely that if I keep a rotating stable, it's going to be Cammy, Terry, and Elena. And even then, I might drop Terry. Well, not drop Terry, because Terry's changes are funny, because he mostly got buffs. Round Wave is a low now, for example. So they adjusted his standing medium punch, power. Yeah, no, Ryu. They really said, Ryu, you can have here, Ryu, take all this shit basically. But yeah, for Terry, Round Wave is a low now, which basically combined, well, at this point, with the perfect parry changes that they made, Round Wave is pretty easy to see coming. So it's one of those things where people perfect parrying it shouldn't be too difficult now. But yeah, Terry's standing medium punch got a little bit buffed. His power drive got a little bit buffed. Standing heavy kick crush counter is a little bit less finicky now. A lot of little things that will help Terry's consistency a little bit, because the main thing with Terry has always been that his buttons are really weird. So they sort of evened that out a little bit, which is good for him. Cammy got basically toe tap nerfs. Mai got some relatively important nerfs, but it was one of those things where I was already leaning away to playing more Cammy anyway. And Elena is complex enough that I'm no, I probably can't juggle 4 characters. I gotta pick 3. but I'm getting too deep into that. Y'all are here for game dev stuff, so let's be about that. I may have accidentally revealed a title there that... Well, it's fine. It's all fine. Where's... Hang on a second. I turned off. Okay, Ko-Fi is there. Oh, right, the stone I turned off. Stone can come back on. Yeah, Ryu's like, hey, use Dungeon Warrior. Listen, the fact that they basically gave Ryu what I can only call a literal Lol Lamau Denjin rocket is... we can talk about it on Friday, as far as stream is concerned. But they really went in there with him. They really said, no, y'all need to understand. He cook. He's gonna cook. It's a lot. Alright, let's see here. I gotta look up my shoot notes or stream notes because I have not been taking them correctly. So I need to like start doing that so we can actually get proper... Okay, so one of the big things... But also, hi Shiny, how you doing? Well, so yeah, one of the big things I was working on off stream just to kind of like give you all an idea of what I've been up to. I haven't gotten to test it all the way yet, but off stream I've been working on saving and loading data for for hang on, I know you all can't see it. Give me a second. Sometimes I have to just like tweak the capture to make sure it's grabbing the right thing. But yeah, I've been working on basically saving high score tables and fastest time tables to disk to be read out. I don't think I'm going to be getting to like implementing them in game today because there are a couple other things I want to handle first. Looking for that sound. Appreciate it, cuz. I'm doing good. After 3,000 years, I can finally play Final Fantasy. Oh yeah, the state of play today was wild. Quite possibly, like, the one that was the most absurd, like, the most absurd announcement there, at least to me of all that, was the fact that, like, Marvel decided to do a 4v4 tag in game without Capcom. They went to Arc System Works instead. And I know at least 2 people who are like, modern Arc Sys, I have very strong feelings about them and the way that they operate, and so I'm either one person I know is kind of like, I'm reserving judgment till I play it. The other person is like, no, this is bummy. This is super bummy because Arc System Works, like modern Arc System Works, just like Arc System Works just gets on my nerves, and I hate it. This game's gonna be shit. But okay, they didn't say all that, but they were very emphatic about the fact that they don't think the game is going to be good because they don't trust, because they think that modern Arc System Works is like super scuffed, basically. And I get it. For my part, I know I said this on a previous stream. I don't play a lot of tag fighters very often, so in my case, I'm kind of just like, in my case, I'm just like, this looks like it might be cool. I am reserving judgment till I see what all is up. Um, I am not like super. I'm not hyper invested necessarily. We'll have to just kind of like see what goes down. So yeah, new Bloodstained, new Neo. Um, yeah, the cooking is real. Um, a lot of games are doing the video game thing. Is basically what I'm saying. There's a lot, but okay. Let me lock in for a little bit. This is just let's call it this. This one's further down the line. So we're gonna get down later. Hey CJ. Given choice. Oh, okay. So to explain the logic behind what I'm doing here, I am Trying to see if I can get a nice blink going. So up, up. Hey, Stubby. Whoops. Yeah, that kind of works. I like it. the blinking might be a little bit annoying. So I think I'm going to pull the blinking from it. I think I'm just going to have it fade in instead. So we're going to throw out that one. And here's what we're going to do instead. I'm going to come over to the shoot prompt animator, shoot prompt. We're going to mess with the modulation instead. So create modulate here, modulate here. We're going to have it start here and then do this. So it'll fade in. It'll fade in and then do that. So let's just these. Move it to here. Nice. Yeah, we want nice big. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the stuff. That's the pepper. All right. Right here, we're gonna additional text. I want to key this position because it needs to come back over here when it's done. But initially, I would say that we want this at the middle of the screen. So let's see. Position. Keyframe the anchor as well. Yeah. This one. This one. Okay. 3 seconds. here. Make sure that this is down. Yeah, that should do. Like it's really, really big. Okay. And I have to probably finesse the text a little bit on the additional stuff, but that's fine. Um, so scale here should be 3. Um, we're I'm trying out a thing for I'm trying out a thing for animating the I'm trying out a thing for animating the shoot prompt stuff to get people to pay attention to what it's saying. Because we still have people who are kind of in the we see it but we don't see it sort of. We have people that are still kind of like um, seeing it but not really seeing it sort of deal. So I'm like, okay, how can we make it very obvious? You need to look here and pay attention to what it's doing. Um, it's one of those things where I have maybe vaguely talked about this on the channel before, but it's one of those things where teaching people how to do something is really difficult when it comes to video games. Like the actual act of like teaching a player this is how you do this thing is very difficult. Like getting a player to actively understand this is the thing that they need to be doing is a little tough. Um, Not even like talking about the likes of like um, Ego Raptor, right? Who at this point has basically kind of like admitted, as far as I understand, that he sort of deliberately plays up the fact that like he doesn't read instructions um, in order to make the bit funnier, which is a little annoying. Um, but realistically speaking, right, like trying to get that type of player to recognize that that a thing is going on and they need to be paying attention to what it is hard. It takes a lot of effort to like actually get that to work. So I'm trying this as like a way of like saying, okay, like pay attention to the thing that is going on here. Yeah, it might be a little too big. Hmm. Yeah. And one of the bits of I should move this over here so y'all can actually hear me. One of the bits of feedback we did get is that we may also have to be okay with like the fact that some people just may not read the thing, and that that's okay, and that there are going to be players who are just going to like mash and not read the thing. But we figured that we wanted to try this one um, before outright saying nah, forget it. Let's just let people like sink or swim. The arrow's not going to point exactly at the right spot. Damn it. I'm gonna solve backwards for that. If I try to think about it too much right now, it's gonna make my ass itch. So I'll solve for it in a second. Yeah. This should do it. Keyframe the major stuff here. Position, scale. I'll have to shift these around a little bit when we do the new HUD. But this feels like it's probably the most sensible way to handle this. So yeah, Godot basically lets me like animate all of these things very directly in its animator. Let's name these consistently, actually. So rename, this is prompt animation. Here, we're going to do prompt animation. Now all I have to do is come over to the spinning one, spin prompt animator, and then we can try it again. Okay, yeah. Slightly speed up when the... some of them a little closer together. I don't know why this one is going invisible every time. Kind of weird. But yeah, let's make this arrow really obnoxiously big so it's really hard to miss that it is right in front of you. Look at me and pay attention, sort of deal. HUD is on what layer? 2. Yeah, okay, no, it has to stay there because we don't want it to go over. And there we go. Okay, cool. Hold on a second, y'all. Trying to see if this is a thing I've been waiting on. I'm trying to think of the best way. I've been trying to see if I can just like keep it short and punchy for each of these in order to help kind of like down on the amount of like, because the main thing mostly, I know that some of you might be in ad hell, so let me wait for ads to finish before I explain. Okay, ad break's done. So the main thing I'm trying to like land in the middle on as far as this is concerned is enough text to give somebody an idea, but not so much that they have to like read kind of it. Basically the directive I was given essentially was keep it short and don't get in and don't get too much into it. Yeah, the worst part about trying to make sure players see search the template is Luna. Yeah, pretty much, right? And that's sort of the spot where I'm at, right? I told this story on Blue Sky while I was at GDC, but I'll repeat it again here. This was a different version of the tutorial that was a lot wordier, but somebody actively came by the booth where we had the game, played the game for a little while when we had a much longer, wordier tutorial, and was like, basically that person said in so many words, have you ever written a tutorial shorter than X amount of words before? They were trying to be, and I say this with heavy air quotes, they were trying to be helpful in the sense that they were trying to emphasize that there needs to be like economy in the words that are being said, but they were basically incredibly rude and wide about it, and that got on my nerves a lot when they said it. So I was like, all right, cool. Or yeah, like they're basically, at least from my perspective, really rude about it, and I'm just like, cool, thanks. Like, yes, I'm aware the tutorial is like a little wordy, but rather than like playing it for a little bit and then walking off like a dipshit, instead of like actually like, not that this is the thing that is a little complicated, right? I understand that people are busy when they're at like a convention floor and they go off to go do other things, and I try not to hold that personally, but it feels a type of way when you're like, I'm not even gonna bother finishing the tutorial because there's too much words. Whatever, I have other things to do. I'm gone. I'm like, there's a way that feels, especially if you're going to like offer even vaguely what you think is advice and then walk off without having played the whole thing. It doesn't sit right with my spirit. Right. Um, Again, like I am very consciously aware of the fact that technically speaking, I am not owed anything in that aspect, but it really is. There's a certain kind of sting to it if somebody handles the business like that, because it's like, okay, so then I get it, you're not interested. And I don't even think it was like very much even like, they didn't even say like a thank you for playing or anything. They kind of just walked off afterward. It's like the rudest shit. And I'm just like, just because you're not wrong about like what is not working here doesn't mean that you have license to like come in, offer this advice this rudely, and then leave. Like it's kind of shitty. And and in my head I was like, whatever company you work for, either you do good enough work that they really think you're worth it, or they think that you're a pain in the ass. Yeah, considering that most devs at the GDC are showcasing demos of the games, they're showing things, there's something to say about someone. Yeah. Like I said, it's just very rude, very white of them, and I'm just like, So it's one of those things where it's like, am I in my feelings about this? Absolutely, I admit that I am. I'm not. Was I in my feelings about it? Rather, absolutely, I was. I'm not going to like deny that, but also like it's just whether they meant to be or not. It's kind of like dick behavior. It's like don't do that, please. So yeah, I say all of that, and you might be going, why is that related, right? It's related back to the thing that Sebi was saying, where it's like the worst part about trying to make sure players see instructions that some players will ignore it out of spite if there's too much, or not even on. And some players will kind of just do it accidentally because it's just like there's a lot going on here, and I'm trying to just focus on the things that are not going to get me killed. And I'm like, that's fair, right? And that is something to be cognizant of, and I recognize this, but also like, we do in fact want people to like pay attention to the thing, right? Okay, hold on a second. Sorry, y'all. I am having a heck of a time trying to remember how to do this particular thing that I wanted to do. Brain is going empty as hell. There we go. And now we come over here and we do animation player, and then we just do new, call this bomb from. We just call this prompt animation actually, and then we need to name this. We do okay, 3 seconds over here at the 3-second mark. We want to make sure that we mark the position that this thing is supposed to show up at. The bomb prompt at 3 seconds, we want to mark the position and scale at the end. Also want to just, we're gonna rotate this a little bit. I should have keyframed that before I moved it. I should have keyframed that before I moved it, because now it's going to be weird. Hold on a second. Yeah, we want to keyframe the position of this before I move it, so that we are not in trouble once I do. Because now we're going to come back over here. Keeping the position, move this up a little bit so we have a little more room. Keyframe the position here. We take the button pointer and we put it over here, and we keyframe the position of the button pointer here. Then we want the additional text at roughly the middle of the screen. Oh, hang on. What I should do is make sure I keyframe it. Keyframe the position right here. Then we 2 seconds, 2 seconds, and we jump back 2 seconds over here. And we take this one and put it here. Clearing out a couple of things on. I'm just clearing out a couple of things on the other animators, and then gonna give it a try with the bomb. Okay, here, bomb prompt animator 0.5. But yeah, that whole experience was very, like, it got on my nerves a little bit, but it is one of those things where it's like, right, I acknowledge that there are ways to finesse there are ways to try to like finesse and refine this, but inevitably I think we are also very keenly aware of the fact that there are going to be some people who are either just not going to read the thing or are just not going to do the stuff that we would like. And we have accepted that that is a possibility, but we've accepted that it's a possibility that people may not like actively pay attention to it, but at the very least we can try as many things as we can to make sure that like people at least saw it, and then if they ignore it, that's on them, right? I forgot to set the forgot to set this thing. My fault. Here we go. There's maybe one thing I want to try. So the thing I wanted to try, this is a little risky, but I think this may be worth it. Hang on a second. I need to check one thing. Source, position, functionality. Okay, so source, position, functionality. So source, position, functionality. So the thing I would like to try is to put a scout in the middle of those waves to force players to dodge. And the reason why they'll be forced to dodge is because rather than there being like, oh, I can just kind of move in the middle, the scout will be moving in such a way that it will force them to like actively dodge. And then, as always, Purge is the hard one. So the thing that we definitely also learned from a lot of the playtesting is that the Purge mechanic is the hardest thing to teach, right? The Purging mechanic is the hardest mechanic to teach because there are a lot of different parts to the way that it works. And teaching that with just a blurb is very difficult. We're gonna try anyway, but it's very difficult. But yeah, I'm just trying to like condense the things about the Purge that are most useful into one line. Yeah, I know. Like right now, literally what I'm doing is just essentially proof of concepting how we want to try to like you're talking about the attack screen. I know right now this is more like I want to just get a feeling of, does this get people to look? That's the important part. I know that there's a pretty good chance that we may change it later, um, where we just have like a straight up normal attract mode where during the attract mode there's just a bit that comes up, or when you first start the game it just does an automatic video that you can video, in the sense of like it just imitates the or it just does a thing where it imitates the or it just does a thing where it does like an in-game like how to play, and it shows you and then it goes back. Right now we are just trying to get the feeling of, if we make this shit bigger, can we make people look at it? It may be different further down the line later again, but I'm just like, yeah. So yeah, like right now we're just trying to see if we can find language that is either punchy enough to do it, or if we just say fuck it and we just do a how to play. I think when we go to CEO, that will more or less be the that will more or less kind of like be the deciding factor. If people are still kind of like, we still don't get it, then probably we're just gonna grab it, upend it, and go fuck it. Let's just do a King of Fighters 98 style how to play video. When I say that, like if you go look at the King of Fighters 98, they basically literally just have like a full 30 to 45 seconds where the game You know what? I think we're going to try it like this. I'm going to deliberately obfuscate that it gives you an additional power up on top of that, and I will let people either figure that out on their own or do that. I think I'll just tell them the two most important things you need to know. You trade your spread and your shot for one bomb and infinite spin. That's the main thing that you need to know. I think. The main thing that you need to know is that you're trading your spread and your shot for one bomb and infinite spin. And if we decide to do like a more traditional attract video, we can explain that like the length of the does whatever, right? But I think that it may just be a thing where there are some things we just leave some people to figure out on their own, is what my brain is beginning to sort of, my designer's instinct is what I'm going to call it, is beginning to tell me. Hey, Shen. Let's see here. What did I call the animation in this? Prompt animation. Okay, cool. So we're just going to do new. We're going to call this prompt animation. 3 seconds. And we just want to make sure. I think I can keep the purge animation at the same size. So I don't think I have to mess with anything too tough. So purge prompt. Layout, transform. We want to make sure we mark the position and the scale. Additional text, layout, transform. We want to mark the scale right here as well as the position. Because now we're going to go to 2. Nope. 3 over here, 2 over here. Good. So we're going to go to 2 over here. I'm going to take this one and we're going to move it up here. Position is here. Second. This one is. How you doing, Chan? Hopefully well. Okay. I've been trying to pick out some words about a friend of mine.
my part, I'm just sitting here, laying out a couple of these things, laying out a couple of animations as sort of like proofs of concept of like how we can potentially get people to like pay closer attention to what these things do and how. Make sure that I keep the position here for that. This one. Keep that position as well. And then the action prompt, visibility, 0.5, keyframe that here, keyframe it at 0 also, keyframe it at 0 also, and then make sure that this one is set to 0 so it's invisible. Okay. Good. So we have those, and now let's see. I want to adjust where these enemies are called in. So spin, we've done that already. Keep it a little spicy there. Yeah, I know, you're gonna get upset. You're gonna get upset, and that's fine. Okay. Let's see. Okay, good, 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 good. Yeah, no, we want to use. Yeah, for this one, we just want to use those. So you're hemmed in a little and you have to at least move a little bit to put it down, but you don't have to push too hard either. Just make it bite a little bit more, I think, is what we would like here. So for the spin, I want it to wait just a little. So let's do that just to push it off a little bit. And then these we can call a little faster because it's just shooting. So slightly speed that up, slightly slow that one down. Sort of try to see if we can get the pace and the feel about right. Yeah, this is much better. We get a nice. Then I just need to make the purge one delay just a little before it comes on. Yeah, and I think deliberately I'm going to choose, at least for right now, to avoid telling people this part. I will probably at least make this bar a little bit bigger. But I think deliberately choosing not to elaborate make that one big. And then this is what? Um, okay, hold on a second. I'm trying to figure out one thing. I was about to say, there's no reason like this shouldn't be controlled by anything except. Okay. And there's like one more thing I would like to figure out before we leave, and then because we're coming up on time. Okay. Let me see something here. I need to do one very special thing. Like, so the thing I'm doing right here is making sure, I'm just making sure that the, I'm making sure that the enemy spawner knows what the last enemy that it called was on purpose. Do that. I just need to make sure that that this reference that this type matches, because if it doesn't, I'm up a creek. Okay, good. All right, cool. I think that should be okay now. Okay, cool. So I think that works. Cool. So that works. Connect up the boss. Okay, enemy display name. I need to make sure that that's handled. Okay, that break is finishing now. Okay. Not sure why the bomber's name didn't show up, but that's okay, I guess. Night, Stubby. Okay, cool. Ah,
Okay, good. That should handle that. This is almost about right, I think.
still don't know why the name's not showing up. It's weird, but layout, form, key that one in, and key that one in. here, and then the position, we just got to move it a bit. So here we go. And then key it in here. Okay. Form, keyframe the scale here. We're gonna make this ping pong. Keyframe the scale of the end to like this. And just gonna do and prompt animator. New prompt animation. 3 seconds. I'm gonna come to the 2-second mark, and as before, I've been quiet mostly because I'm just like trying to like make sure that I think and concentrate and get this part right. So, keyframe scale, and we're going to keyframe the position right here, right, to make sure that those are set. We come back over to this one. We're going to reset the scale to 1 and keyframe that there so it shrinks, and then we're going to make sure we move it over here and keyframe the position. And then all we need to do is take this aspect, the visibility, keyframe the modulate here, go to 1/2 second, keyframe the modulate again, go back to the original one and make sure that it starts transparent. And then we should be good from there. I expect that there are probably still going to be people who miss some of this. Insofar as what I was aiming for today, I mostly just wanted to sit down and like animate these aspects of the tutorial so I like actually know. Oh wait, I forgot to set the, that's my bad. There's a thing I forgot to set up, and that's why it wasn't working. Here, I forgot the bomb prompt. Or I should say. Because now what I can do if I move that is take this and I do really want to do is take this and I just need to keep most of this real estate clear, so I'm careful. Don't want to make this too big is the thing. I need to make it just big enough that people can see what it is and what it does, but I don't want to make it too big. So we're going to do this. Then what we're going to do is grab this and do that. Because I imagine that I'm going to wind up changing it eventually. Oh, whoops. Ah, damn it, I messed up. I got rid of the wrong thing. Which is probably a sign that I am coming up very much on the limited amount of time before brain begins to like hard shut off window, which means that I need to make sure that I get this sorted out sooner rather than later. That's why. There was weird snapping going on because I forgot to double check to make sure that okay. Yeah, I think this is about as much as I want to push as far as that's concerned. I think I've mostly got the majority of what I wanted with this set. Oh, that one needs to scale down. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Almost there. Gotta get my brain to not lose track of what it is that I'm doing. Okay. Yeah. This is about as much as I want to mess with it, I think. Because if I mess with anything else and I mess it up and it goes and things go worse, then don't want that. So I'm going to hold it there because we're going to run into ads again in another 10 minutes. And I think we've pretty much done all the things I can think of to do. So I'm going to make sure that we can go find somebody to go hang out with. Let's see. So I'm just trimming this down by executive decision. We could go hang out with G the next level. Because I did just clear them off of that, but we haven't been to Data Dave in a while, so I think we're gonna go hang out with Data Dave. Should warn you, Data Dave is playing Deltarune Chapter 3, so if you are like, listen, I don't want spoilers for that, I plan on playing that myself, I understand that. This is me warning you that Data Dave is currently playing that so that you can make the decision to dip out if you need to. Thank you, Sin. So yeah, as y'all can see, if you want to check out like game analysis design blogs, I do them over at NeoCities on occasion. Stream VODs up on my YouTube channel. Ko-Fi, if you want to support me in the stream but don't want to give money to Amazon and Jeff Bezos, is over there. My throne has gifts that you can give to the stream for the purposes of like adding to other organizing stuff if you so feel like, for like my office and things like that. Office, quote unquote. And then my card has my other social media. If you want to hang out with us when we're not on stream, you can join us on Gilded. You just have to make a Roblox account in order to do so. I understand if you don't want to do that, so don't feel pressured if you don't want to. And if you want to know more about Munity, know when we're up to stuff, know what we're doing, know all that other stuff, join us on Patreon for your paid. You can check out more info about Shootlanter at our actual website and play a prototype over on our prototype page. We're going to go hang out with Data Dave. Like I said, he's currently playing Deltarune Chapter 3, so if that's something that you want to avoid spoilers for, you don't have to come along on the raid. I'm just letting you know so that you know what's up. Our raid command is SJH, or our raid call is SJH's raids. So throw that in, throw in your favorite emotes, whatever you feel like. Stream schedule, 6 p.m. Eastern time on Friday is Fighting Friday. Going to be playing Elena, going over a couple of the Street Fighter patch notes for her patch that dropped her in. Sunday, 5 p.m. is Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. And then next Wednesday, right? Next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time
is the last stream before I go out to CEO for the weekend. So next week there will be no Friday stream and no Sunday stream. So basically, after what I'm saying is that after June 11th, there are no streams again until after June 11th. There are no streams again until June 18th. That's pretty much the way that it works. After June 11th, there are no more streams until June 18th, because I'll be out down in Orlando doing that stuff, with Shootlands particularly. So thank y'all for coming by. Stay safe, wash your hands. If you go outside, please wear a mask. Protect yourself, protect other people, and be safe. Be excellent to each other, but not to bigots, racists, terrorists, sexists, anti-queer folks, or fascists. Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights, reproductive rights are human rights. Palestine, Sudan, the Congo, and New Caledonia must all be free. None of us are free until we're all free. This is pretty much my guiding ethos in life. If you feel like overwhelmed and you're not sure what you can do with things being the way that they are, especially like in the United States, the most important thing you can do is protect the people that are around you. It's pretty much what you should be aiming for. And you don't have to do that in like wild ways. You can really just be there for people when they need you in any ways that you can. But alright, y'all, that's pretty much all I got. Let's go hang out with Dave. I'll catch y'all later. Deuces.